Hi, I'm Alanis.
And I'm Lucy, and we're both STEM ambassadors, and we're both currently doing a placement with GSK. So we just put this presentation together just to give you a little idea of what we've been doing since high school and how we got to GSK now. Also some career options and just a little bit of advice from us. So I'll get ahead with the presentation. So after school, I decided to do A-levels, and the A-levels I chose was biology, chemistry, music. I chose this because I wanted a bit of a variety, but also I knew from high school that I absolutely loved science, loved biology, and loved chemistry. So this kind of led me on to studying biochem and microbiology at the University of Sheffield, but it wasn't quite as straightforward as this. So I initially started studying chemistry at Sheffield because I thought I preferred chemistry more to biology. And it got to about halfway through first year, and I thought chemistry really isn't for me. I really wasn't enjoying it. And I had some friends that were studying biochemistry, and the way they talked about it, it sounded like really up my street, something that I'd really enjoy like a lot more. So I actually took the decision to change course, and I changed to biochemistry and microbiology. And I am so glad that I changed because I do enjoy it a lot more, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is on the next slide. But yeah, so it's led me to the placement that I'm doing now, which I'm loving. And yeah, I'm just very, very happy that I changed. So I've just finished my third year, and now I'm doing my placement year, and then I'll be going back to do my master's after the placement. So a little bit about biochemistry and micro. So I kind of thought that biochemistry was basically a bit of a mixture between biology and chemistry, but it is a lot deeper than that. So biochemistry is the processes occurring at a molecular level. So this involves sort of DNA and proteins and cell-to-cell communication and how this occurs in humans, in bacteria, viruses, things like that. And so it links well with microbiology because that's the study of living organisms which aren't visible to the naked eye. So that, again, is things like bacteria and viruses. And obviously, it's very current at the moment. And it is really interesting. So it's sort of how the tactics that bacteria and viruses might use to survive in the body and cause disease. So it's really interesting. And within my course, there are a lot of lab-based activities, which I really do enjoy. So I enjoyed that in college, enjoyed it in high school. And I knew that I wanted to be in a lab-based environment. So this led me on to doing a lab-based placement, which I'll talk about in a few slides. But yeah, so we have a lot of lab activities. And in third year, we actually got to undertake a research project. So this involved us undertaking a project in a research lab with researchers, which was really, really exciting because it gave you that feel of what a research lab is like and what actual research goes on there. So in the background of this slide, this is actually a plate from my project. And this is a plate of E. coli because we were isolating a protein from it. So we do a lot of streaking techniques, a lot of things like that, which I do believe really helped me to get this placement with GSK, having those techniques. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the lab aspect of it, and that's basically what made me want to do a lab-based project. So I'll just pass this over to Alanis to talk a little bit about her experience.
So during studying for my GCSEs, I developed a real passion for science, especially biology. So that kind of aided my decision in what A-levels I picked. So I picked biology, mathematics, and chemistry. And there was a particular topic within my biology lessons that really kind of caught my eye. And that kind of was based around bacteria and viruses, how they affect the body. And that was something that I was really interested in. So this is kind of where my love for microbiology began. So whilst applying for university, I wanted to make sure that my degree included microbiology, but wasn't solely based on that, as I kind of wanted a broader range of biology topics to kind of expand my knowledge and explore the world of biology further. So the degree that I chose to study was biomedical science. And this degree looks at the health and disease of humans, as well as how diseases occur in the body and how they're treated. So everything that I'd researched about this degree seemed perfectly fitting to me. So that was the degree that I chose to study. So the definition of my degree is that it explores the fundamental principles of the pathogenesis of disease and strategies for their investigation and treatment. So I began studying in 2018 at Northumbria University in Newcastle. And And during my first year, most of the content that was covered was kind of like a basic foundation knowledge. So that could be kind of expanded on and developed in my second and third year. So during my first year, I completed a module called Introductory Pathological Sciences. And this was really heavily lab-based and contained quite a large section on microbiology. And I really enjoyed learning about all the different culture techniques that there are, the different types of media, learning how to streak correctly, and all the different kind of microbial techniques as well. So that was something that really interested in me and kind of fueled my love for microbiology even more. So this module allowed me as well to experiment with Group 1 and Group 2 ACDPs, which stands for Advisory Committee of Dangerous Pathogens. So that was a great first-hand experience for me as well. And during my second year, I completed a module called Microbiology and Immunology. And in this module, I learned about different microorganisms, the morphologies, the various effects they have on the body, as well as the types of treatment available. So this module really kind of fueled my interest even more, and kind of confirmed that microbiology was definitely a career path for me. So I'll talk a bit about that, how I came to that decision of an industrial placement later on, but I'll just pass back to Lucy.
So like I said, we're both doing an industrial placement at GSK, and we're both working at a manufacturing site in the microbiology department. So there's a lot of different labs in this department, and I'm working in the product testing lab, which basically does what it says in the tin. So we test a lot of different products, and we want to make sure that these are the highest standard and that these are safe before they're sent to our patients. So it's a very lab-based role, which, again, like I said before, I absolutely love, and I'm very, very lucky to get this placement. So within this, we use a lot of different microbial techniques in order to test these products. And we basically get a quantitative and qualitative estimation of the viable microorganisms which might be present in these products. So again, we just want to make sure that these are safe before they are sent to our patients and consumers. So I think also doing a placement, it really gives you that experience of working life, and it gives you that sort of routine. And also from being about 6 months into my placement, I really already feel part of the team. And I've learned a lot of new different techniques and skills, and also not even just skills within microbiology, actual like teamwork, a lot of communication skills. I think that's been really big for me. I have learned how to communicate with different people and how to adapt my communication skills to suit different people. But it has been like a really valuable experience so far, and definitely one that I would highly recommend. So I'll just pass over to Anna to talk about her placement.
So I knew that I wanted to do a placement year, but I was very undecided about where I wanted to do it, whether that be in a hospital or within the pharmaceutical industry. So I researched both of the different roles, and I chose pharmaceutical industry. And the main reason for this was drug development excited me a lot more, and the skill set that I had made me a lot more suitable to kind of an industrial setting. So that was kind of my main reason why. So Lucy and I work in the same department, but we have very different roles and responsibilities to each other. So my role mainly revolves around the media preparation laboratory. This lab is often referred to as the hub of the department, as we're relied on by all of the product testing labs within microbiology. So it's essential that we meet the demands and needs of these labs. So the key responsibility of this lab is media manufacture. This is one of the main processes that we do in the lab, and it takes up most of my working day. So the media we make varies from day to day, and kind of depends on what the product testing labs have requested as well. Other responsibilities that we have include controlling the receipt of solid and liquid media and ingredients from external suppliers. We also clean, prepare and sterilise lab equipment that's needed, and we also decontaminate any media that's been used that has bacterial or fungal growth, so that can be disposed of safely as well. So essentially all of the above responsibilities that I've mentioned all kind of contribute to the same point, which is that we ensure the product testing labs have enough media and equipment available so that products are tested quickly and can be released for dispatch in a timely manner, which is essentially the main goal of our whole site. So due to the different tasks and jobs that we do in here, it can be quite fast-paced, and that's kind of what makes the job rather exciting, and every day is completely different, so you never really know what you're going to get that day. So it's also really helped with my skill development as well, By being in a lab setting, it's helped me develop critical thinking, problem solving skills, knowing how to prioritise and organise the tasks at hand, teamwork, time management. I could go on. Honestly, I've learned so many different skills from this placement, so it's been really beneficial for me and my personal development, and something that I can apply to any kind of future career role, which is really good.
So now we're just going to talk a little bit about the different career opportunities within GSK. So obviously there's the industrial placements that me and Alana are doing at the moment. So that's a year-long placement at a site in GSK, and you're placed in a team. So you really get that sort of working life experience and that valuable experience, like I said before. But if you didn't want to do like a year-long placement, there's also summer placements. So again, this is the same thing. You're placed within a team, but this is just for a few months over summer. So you might work on a project or routine work or something like that. But again, you get a feel for like the working life and the culture. Also, there's apprenticeships, which are really great opportunities from the apprentices that I've spoke to. They all really recommend it. So I know that GSK do apprentices in a lot of different areas. So it could be in sales and marketing, in business, in supply chain, or in research and development. So these are about 3 years long. And again, you're working in a team, and you get that really hands-on working experience from day one. So say if you didn't want to go to university, or you wanted to be in a working environment rather than studying, you can get that sort of half and half from that, and that is like a really good experience. And again, getting that hands-on working experience and being thrown into a team from day one is really going to help develop those skills. Also, graduate schemes. So these are after university. You can apply for a graduate scheme, which is about a 3-year-long program, and each year you work maybe at a different site or in a different team in a different sort of role. So you get a lot of experience in the different teams and the different projects, and you can help decide what maybe you like more and what maybe you don't like more. Again, you're getting this really hands-on working experience and being part of a team. So they're all really, really good opportunities that you can get involved with. And lastly, work experience. I cannot stress how vital work experience really is, even if it's not in the sort of area that you don't want to go into. Like I remember in high school, I worked in a school for a couple of weeks. I knew I didn't want to be a teacher or any sort of like school staff or anything, but I still gained so many skills from it and so much knowledge. Like you gain like confidence, communication, lots and lots of different skills, which you can transfer to other roles and other jobs. So I'd say that any form of work experience is really, really vital and really useful. So I've just put a little link at the bottom there, the gsk.com/careers. And this is where you can find out a little bit more information about the placements, graduate schemes and apprenticeships. And hopefully that will help. So I'll just finish with a little bit of advice from both of us.
So our most valuable piece of advice that we have is to do your research. There are so many different opportunities, different career paths that to suit anyone. So make sure that you know what your interests are and kind of base what you look for on those. Another piece of advice we have is to get involved with STEM. You can do this by taking part in the different events to expand your knowledge, discover new topics that maybe you didn't realise you had an interest in. And we would also recommend becoming a STEM ambassador when you get the chance, as it's really allowed us both to develop in lots of different ways already. And it's always nice to get involved with young people and inspire them to become involved in STEM subjects. And lastly, don't be afraid to try something new or challenging, as you may really surprise yourself and actually enjoy it. We can't emphasise this enough, because I don't think Lucy and I would be where we are today without having to step out of our comfort zone and try that new thing that may seem daunting at first, but it obviously has been worth it in the end. So yeah, lots of advice there for you guys.
So thank you so much for listening. I hope that we've really kind of given our experience and given a little bit of opportunities and advice from us. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.